this meeting to order. We're going to start out with pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to have a roll call. Tracy Rowe. Here. Fred Sotomayor. I'm here. Kay Jones.
Here.
Terry Tomlin, Sheriff here. Not have to move to Robbins yet. Okay, so what this session is we have two policies in front of you there, and we're just here to hear what the community and the employees of the community want to say about it. And so that we listen, I get better on how to accept these policies, or how to rework them, or delete them, or not put them in our policy book. So with that, I'm going to leave it in Brad's hand.
Thank you. Trikamlade, members of the board, just going to give us a little context for the conversation today. And before we get people speaking, and I know that there'll be folks coming in the next 15 minutes or so as well. There is a currently right now, if you, and I'm talking about policy KGBB, which is a optional policy for districts to include firearms prohibited. So currently, if you have a concealed carry license, you are able to go into a school with a firearm. This policy, if it's in place, is the thing that prevents somebody from doing that. So if we chose to go with this policy, somebody who's carrying a gun on them cannot go into a school. We would ask that it be stay in their vehicle. And the the thinking around having the policy in place, somebody may have a gun that we're not aware of, but if it comes to our attention that they are carrying a firearm, the policy allows us to have a conversation about asking them to not do that in the future. So we can ask. Currently, the way it stands is we can ask them not to, but if they say no, I want to, then we have to let them. And so this policy is the only thing that will allow us to say no. So before we take it to the board and have a decision on whether we should have this policy or not, the board decided to have a listening session to hear what people thought. So this is the first of two. And we have a couple of people in the audience. I know a few more coming who would like to speak to it. That's the summary of why we're here.
Okay, so currently we have adopted the JFCJ last time, correct? We adopted in
So
is that correct?
yeah, so JFCJ is currently a policy that we have. KGBB is not currently policy that we have.
I just wanted to clarify that. And yeah, I think we're not here to really answer questions because we haven't made a decision as a board, but we're just here to hear what constituents of the community and our employees think about these two policies. So, Sylvia, if you just state your name, because we are being recorded, and what building you work in, or whether you're a parent or both.
All right, my name is Sylvia Magana, and I work at the middle school. I wanted to share that I support whatever policy prohibits the possession of firearms in school and district grounds. One thing that I really appreciate about Jefferson is that we're a small community, and I feel like we do well keeping each other safe. The school, I feel like does well at keeping our students safe, and allowing firearms, even if they are, if the person has a firearm permit, carrying permit, I feel like that complicates the situation, and I feel like it, just having a clear, we don't allow regardless of if, you have a permit, I think that just makes things less challenging to work around. So yeah, I grew up here in Jefferson. We've been in this community for over 30 years, and I appreciate that. I mean, there have been a few instances where weapons have been brought to school, but I feel like we've done a good job at keeping, our community and our students safe without, allowing firearms to enter the scene. So, yeah, that's my opinion of that. So.
Thank you, so that's it, for who wants to talk, okay, we can go, no, just kidding.
Can I ask a question about this, just the verbiage, and try and get some clarification on the policy?
A question to the audience or a
No.
question? Oh, yeah, could you, we have two people here that are on the policy committee.
It's the part. It's a long sentence. It says the exception provided in Oregon Revised Statute ORS 166.3703G for concealed carry licenses, see ORS 166.291 and 166.292 does not apply to the possession of firearms on grounds of the schools controlled by the board.
Are you on KFCJ,
Sorry, KGBB, the new.
KGBB? Those two ORSs deal specifically with, may I turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Those two ORSs deal specifically with concealed carry. What a concealed carry is, how a person is able to obtain a concealed carry, how a person is permitted from having a concealed carry. And it also deals with the fact that their people's background, in order to have a concealed carry, must be completely vetted. No criminal history, with the exception of misdemeanors. No misdemeanor within 4 years of the application for a concealed carry permit.
And I guess I'm just a little bit unclear on, because this is a policy prohibiting firearms and.
It's with the exception of those. In other words, a concealed carry person can have a weapon on the school grounds if they meet those guidelines in the ORS.
And that was passed by the Senate in 2021.
So in layman's terms, that's what this policy is doing.
Sorry, guys. The policy, the policies that are here, and the questions surrounding them are, even though it's permissible, it's not against the law to carry a weapon on the school grounds. The policy is designed to prohibit. And it also is designed and mandated that the school district in and of itself at every campus, every entrance or exit door into the building, signage has to be posted, prohibiting firearms from being brought into the school grounds.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. That's not all, but there's more to it than that.
And I'm just curious, who brought this forward?
It was on the policy committee. It came with the policies, from what I understand, correct? It came with the new policies from OSBA to us to either accept or reject.
And we look at every policy that they send.
The policy committee goes over it.
Because every time the legislature meets and changes the rules, we need to adapt, so we're still following state law.
I probably don't want to be on the policy committee.
It's not that bad, actually. It's not. It's not.
Well, thank you for being on the policy committee.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
no problem. My pleasure. You guys would trust the policy committee to go through the policies and go through the weeds and all of it. But sometimes there's a policy that comes through that probably the whole entire board looking at it and having a vote on that.
If you would like to talk or speak, please sign in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Sylvia.
All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to share, we're
I just have a few statements, mine mainly about the mental health of our students.
Would you state your name and what building you're in?
Oh, hello, I'm Sharon Trimbiak, I'm the school counselor at the middle school.
Okay, thank you.
And mainly my words today are about the mental health of our students. They are very fragile right now, and I spend every week with kids talking about suicide, assessing that, and calling Marion County to have them assessed. I'm really worried about that in regards to firearms and remembering what happened at the high school several years ago. I really don't want to see that happen again, especially on school property. And that really is my concern.
thank you, Sharon.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for coming.
How long are we gonna have this to 5 o'clock?
Oh, it's later than that.
Mhm. Yeah, this one goes
Yeah,
to 5
goes
an
to
hour.
5.
I think you'll see a few people coming between now and 4. Somebody asked if they could come around 4, and I haven't heard beyond that. And we have 2 administrators who are out today that will participate in the next listening session, most likely. And don't worry about that. It'll just keep going, and Chris will take care of it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brad.
If somebody breaks in tonight, we'll hear. Yeah. Scott, you need to sign. Oh. Fred, you didn't hear, but Brad has some family issues. He has to deal with. Sure. Okay. Scott, did you say you wanted to speak?
I did. So did the other ones already?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
mine-
have.
yeah, okay. So it's your turn and we give you 15 seconds.
Get organized.
I need to get myself organized. I got some notes.
So board, being that this is, a work session, listening session, if you have questions for the person speaking, I think it's free, feel free to ask.
Or to just listen.
I am too, but sometimes we want a little clarification
Sure, I can understand that.
on what they mean when they say what they are.
So are you ready?
Yeah. go ahead, Scott.
Thank you, board members, for letting me share this evening. My name is Scott Yancey. I'm the principal at Jefferson Middle School. When they asked me about when I interviewed for this job, they said, what in your background has prepared you to work in a rural community like Jefferson? I about laughed out loud because of Jefferson is a big town compared to where I grew up. So I grew up on a farm between Lebanon and Shed. So I actually had a Shed address. And just want to say, I am a firearm owner. I have multiple firearms. I hunted and fished my whole life. So I am not anti-gun, but I am anti-having concealed weapons in schools. So I just want to make that clear. I'm going to give you several reasons and some of my background that make me say that. This is my 6th year as being a principal, was 2 years as a principal in Puerto Rico, and then this is actually my 32nd year in education. Many years as a teacher, 8 years as an administrator. I have had multiple examples or multiple experiences at sporting events because I'm also a coach, where I've had some very aggressive parents. One time, 4 years ago at Memorial Middle School, I was actually a little bit afraid for my own safety. A parent came in right as I was leaving the door. I was the last person there. I was working late that day. It was about 5:50 or so. He came in and said he wanted to talk to me. So I said, okay. And he was very upset about the issue. There was a lot of yelling, and a lot of kind of uncontrolled behavior. And it took me a long time for me to get him to leave. So I think about that incident, and I just think I'm really glad he did not have, as far as I know, any weapons, because he was a little bit unhinged. I've had some other instances where I used to do security at North Stanley football. I was a teacher there, so I went to the games anyway. So I helped do security, and I had some other instances with some parents that were, just following basic rules. And so, and I could go into more examples, but just I've had examples with parents or community members that have got where they've got aggressive and not wanting to follow rules or follow decorum. So that's why I would not want to think about community members bringing a concealed weapon into the school. I also know my third point is around traumatized students. Our students hear about school shootings. They hear, and whenever we do even a fire drill, I go around and I warn my life skills teachers and my LRC, and we have some other students that we know are traumatized by events. And so even more so when we do our lockdown trainings, we do those twice a year, once in the fall and then once in the spring. So we have to warn, and some students don't come those days, even because they know they get very traumatized by having to hide, and so I think if students know that people have guns on campus, or that if they see someone, it's supposed to be concealed, but in any case, because of the students too and their fear, I don't believe it's I don't believe it's a proper thing to have for people to bring concealed weapons to school. And then finally, for me, it's kind of the same thing as a bank or an airport. You don't bring your concealed guns into the bank. You can't do that, and you can't bring them to the airport when you fly. You can go to the county courthouse or other places. So for me, again, in summary, I just want to say I'm not anti-gun. I'm not anti people having concealed weapons permit. I'm just disagreement with allowing them to bring them to school.
Questions? Thanks, Scott.
Take care, Scott.
Thank you. Reggie doing more.
It's either now or tonight.
Yeah, do it. And sure had nice weather this weekend, didn't it? Summer.
Did you? Place a water heater next door.
Thank you for calling me the water heater.
What do you call? What other?
They call them hot water heaters, and it drives me nuts. My kid does it all the time. I said, if it had hot water, it wouldn't need to be
You
heated.
need to be a heater, yeah.
Hey, Fred, did you look to see what kind of freon was in your,
So I called those guys and they said, I can't supply my own or else it would void the warranty on the new compressor. So,
what kind of freon was?
oh, I didn't even get to that point. She didn't know, and I said, well, ask them what kind it is and if I can supply it. She just came back and said I could supply it. I had the compressor go out in my 4-year-old heat pump. The train.
How,
It's under warranty, the
The parts,
compressor is.
the parts, but not the freon.
not the freon or the labor, and they're at 132 an hour.
Well, tell them, send me the parts. I'll put it in.
Well, then I'd void the warranty on the rest of
If
the
you do
system.
your own work, it voids your warranty.
And the compressor, they're telling me it was like 2,500.
And what it was, Tracy, is, I didn't want to do the work, because I really don't know those, but I would supply the freon for them, so you buy the cost.
Mhm.
They're charging me $50 a pound.
$50 a pound.
What?
52 or 54.
Are you kidding me?
No, I need 8 pounds. So, so it's $400.
oh,
And it
Who's,
really,
who's the heat company?
Hendrix, which before that, I gotta say, the tech they sent out, top-notch kid. I tried higher.
yeah, you guys remember we are being recorded, but that's fine. We're all-
Yeah.
No, I'll say this to everybody needs to know about Hendrix. So I had a horrible time with them. They were the ones that installed it 4 years ago. horrible.
What was the name of the company again?
Hendrix Heating. But the kid, I gotta say, the kid they sent out, and I even told him this, and I left a review on the website. Because I like holding people accountable, but that goes both ways. So he did such an awesome job, found it so quick, was very polite, respectable, and he explained everything. He's like, no, if you did this, it's not that bad, but boy, your warranty, top notch kid, in the Army. Couldn't put it in the next day because he's wanted to do some sort of training or something. Very good then, horrible 4 years ago. Oh my gosh.
So let me ask you this question, is all your Freon gone?
No,
It's not.
no.
Tell them you want them to recover your Freon and put it back.
So
They
there's,
won't do that.
I know.
I know.
I know, so now if you can't recover my Freon and put it back, then you need to charge me 50% of your, I'll agree to that for your Freon.
I'll try it, but everything I try said it'll void the warranty.
The reason,
No, what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to be clear. Recover my Freon and put it back in once you replace the part. Sorry, we can't do that. Okay. All right, well, here's the deal. Since I've already paid for that Freon and you guys put that unit in and the part has failed, I don't believe it's in your best interest as a company owner to charge me full rate, put new Freon back into my unit at $8 a panel. I will,
at $8.
or whatever it is,
$52.
okay,
Yeah.
and $25 a panel instead of, that's what I would do.
I'll try it. They were pretty straight line about it, that basically anything I did would void the warranty.
Yeah, but you're not doing it.
No.
You're having them do it.
Exactly.
But wouldn't they say it could be contaminated and that would void my warranty?
You know that they can't recover it, you know that they can't put it back in. There's your
Well,
number.
okay, so they can recover it and they will recover it. They're putting it free on you. But then they're gonna charge Fred $100 for recovery fee. Because,
You think they would?
oh, I know they do, because they have to get rid of that Freon. They cannot reuse it.
Well, they've got to
And
recover
so-
the Freon anyways in order to repair the unit.
Correct. So they're gonna charge you for that. There's a recovery fee. And you have to, put it in a separate can. You gotta get a can's $100.
Yeah,
And they send that back to, the refrigeration place called RSD or Thermo. There's only two in Salem. And then they send that back and get it recycled.
What does recycle mean? They put it back in another container?
No, they clean it up and use it again.
Honestly, I don't even know what Freon is. I don't know if it's a gas. or
It is a gas.
It's a gas.
Well, it's a gas that comes in a liquid. And,
Because it's under pressure.
and then it goes through an orifice, which changes it into a gas, and that's where it cools.
So it's a little bit like propane?
It is propane, they use propane for cooling.
Okay.
They do. The only problem with propane is it's highly flammable, and Freon is only slightly flammable. It burns.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Education.
In school.
It's, yeah.
That is frustrating, but you know what? I always try and find the positive. I don't have to buy a new compressor.
Yeah.
Kid found it right away, so.
Hey, it's the crew. What's up, y'all?
Hi, Chris.
It's 5 o'clock.
I'm here to testify.
Would you sign in first?
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta.
No, I don't actually have, I'm just gonna say hi.
Gotta sign in for
I'll
that.
still
too.
sign in anyway.
Thank you.
Are you here to talk or just visit?
No, I'll just chat with you guys about this anyway.
Tracy's on the phone
Yeah,
call.
if you're not in a hurry. Tracy's on.
No, I'm not. I was super sick last week, just drained me out. I was gone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Just kicked it from some flu.
COVID.
I was thinking like, how can I be this sick and it not be COVID? I took like 2 COVID tests and
Better now?
I'm exhausted. It's just like, it's not like
Like
having an elephant on my chest. It's like having a really rotund toddler on my chest. It's
Oh, well.
It's just, not enough to like, shut you down, it's like, it's just hard to breathe and move and everything, so.
So Chris, I just want to tell you, we're being recorded.
Oh, okay. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. I just want to tell people that so they don't think we conspicuously. So,
Oh, it's
hey, you have the floor.
Well, I guess, what this comes down to, from my understanding, is being able to carry concealed weapons on school grounds. Is that correct? Does that have to do with carrying them in our schools or having them locked within a car? I've read it two different ways.
Both.
We have our policy, we have two of our policy committees that
Okay.
have asked all these questions, Kay and Tracy. So Tracy, maybe you can answer that.
The ORSs cover allowing an individual in both policies. ORS 166.291 and 166.292 allow for an individual to have a concealed, as long as they have a concealed weapons permit, they can have a concealed weapon on and in the campus. Legislature has made it so that and the federal, both of them have made it that school districts can prohibit people. If there's certain things that the school district has to do in order for that policy to be effective. As I explained before to the previous person, it has to be an individual, school district has to post signage at all entrance and exit doors on the school grounds. The federal statute goes to weapons as far as or discharge of weapons 1,000 feet from school grounds. The district has the ability, if the policy is passed, even though an individual has a concealed carry and the law allows them currently to enter into these structures, and it's more than just schools. The district has the option of going against certain alienated rights, requesting the individual to remove the weapon off of the person. It has to be disassembled, not loaded, and stored in their vehicle. You can't literally ask them to remove it off of school grounds. It can be in their vehicle. That is the way I'm understanding that, based upon, again, me reading this policy again.
I'll give you my opinion as an elementary school principal, because that is my experience. I don't think that there's any good reason to have a firearm in an elementary school. I don't think there's a place for it. And so I am for not having those come through my doors, whatever that means in terms of policy, or otherwise. And I just, there's certain places this isn't about politics for me. It's about just safety. There's certain places like a bank that you don't bring a gun into. I also feel that like there's no good reason to have a gun in a bank. There's no good reason to have a gun in a kindergarten. So that is, I would say that's my overarching encompassing feel as an elementary school principal, because I like to keep the weapons as far away from those kids as possible during the day. Yeah, you bet. Any follow-up questions?
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys.
Always a pleasure seeing you.
Always a pleasure to see you. I'm gonna go try to nap off the rest of this cold.
Good luck.
All
Take
right,
care,
have a good one.
Chris.
So Tracy, you're saying you have to disassemble.
Mhm.
It does not say you have to disassemble. It says,
I read that as being unloaded.
You gotta read the ORS.
Oh, it's in the ORS.
Read the ORS.
okay,
There's very,
it says on here that it,
It is to be unloaded and locked.
locked.
yes. That
Shouldn't
you
we
go
should-
through, you go through the ORSs and one of them stated the weapon in and of itself needed to be disassembled. And I don't remember which policy that was.
Can we get a copy of that ORS or is it up to us just to, I mean, I guess I can pull it up on my iPad.
You don't want.
You can reference all the different ORSs off of each one of the policies. The federal one has quite a few more ORSs attached to it, but they go into a lot more wording. There's 12, 15, 16, 17 different ORSs on the federal one. And that could have been pertaining to, I didn't catch it, that could have been pertaining to a bolt action rifle. Bolt has to be removed.
Yeah, that's fine, Teresa. We'll, we'll discuss that more when we get the board. Anybody know who that first lady was that's sitting over here?
Sylvia, oh,
Well, that
no,
was Laura.
That was Laura?
Yeah, she's high school.
Yeah, okay. See,
Principal by BP.
I take it you guys are done.
no, we're not done. You want to talk?
Please sign in.
Sign in. Right.
I don't have anything to say.
You have an opinion about either one?
All right.
Okay, here we go. We gotta talk to somebody. We got another hour yet, 40, 50 minutes.
Make us earn our money.
What'd you say?
Make us earn our money. That's why I tell everybody at work, but this is.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Right.
Do I have to sit in the hot seat?
No, you can sit wherever
You
you
can
like.
sit wherever you want. This is pretty informal.
The only thing we ask is you orally introduce yourself.
My name's Katrina Womack. I'm the student services director for Jefferson.
Katrina, before you say it, I'm just telling you, we're going to record.
Okay. I'm very, very pro Second Amendment rights. I have held my concealed weapons permit. It's not current at the moment. I have worked in districts that allow concealed carry within a district. And I know that I do have some old coworkers that think that they want to conceal carry at work. But I do have concerns. And my concerns are, in order to get a concealed weapons permit, you only need about 4 hours of training. That training does not talk about what would be necessary to happen in a school or how to keep students safe. It's not intended for that in any way, shape, or form. They don't talk about what type of bullets to put in a gun. They don't talk about how sheetrock can be pierced. I say this to you guys as a very, very avid Second Amendment person. I'm a hunter. I bow hunt. I muzzleloader hunt. I hunt with a rifle. So for me to be anti-gun in any way is a very big deal. Very, very big deal. And I'm not anti-gun, but I just think that 4 hours of training is just a dismal amount of training to put somebody in charge of trying to have that kind of responsibility with.
Any questions for Katrina?
Appreciate you coming and
Yeah.
sharing.
No problem. It's kind of off the cuff, but
You did well, thank you.
Information.
Can you go home and have some venison?
I definitely could.
Yeah, I killed my buck opening day, my daughter killed her
It's
buck.
because,
my
it's
son
because you
killed
live
her buck.
right next to state forest land. That's what you were telling me the other day, or at least logging.
Yeah, timber company,
Yeah,
got
timber company.
tens of thousands of acres of timber company, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm a little bit mad at you right now because I put in a 15 rose garden and I came and ate it on the second day because I didn't think it's not quick enough. But
Put a 15-foot fence. So,
that's about what it takes.
New Zealand fence. Remember those, Terry?
well, not
They're not
literally,
that, quite that high, are they?
no. I mean, just because I was born there, I don't remember, but yeah. I've seen pictures.
Look up,
Red stag.
Red stag. Almost the same size as Roosevelt. Elk,
Yeah, they're big.
yeah. And those fences, those New Zealand sheep farmers love to maintain their grass for their sheep and not the wildlife.
When my mom and dad immigrated in New Zealand in '56, that was my dad's first job. Worked for a sheep farmer, and they'd go out there and hunt those at night
Mm.
to keep them off that, keep them off that grass
Yeah,
and alfalfa.
yeah, that's one of their biggest industries, isn't it,
They're
Terry?
a sheep farm
That and the fishery.
and wine now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that, but New Zealand is the same latitude as Oregon is.
Yeah.
It's just the southern hemisphere, so the South Island has a lot of the same climate that we have here, so. Yeah,
Yeah, Oregon is becoming extremely popular for even very well. I was listening to a documentary about it over in Europe. There is a lot of investment coming from that area being poured into the Oregon wine industry in here by them because of the.
yeah, there's something about the soil and the hills that we have. That's the way New Zealand used to, on the South Island.
The main question is, how are the rose bushes?
Yeah,
I'll live forever.
That would be the deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank
The
you.
Rottweiler should really keep them out of the
I
yard.
was
I
gonna
would
say,
think, but
I have a Mastiff and a Dane, and they're not good for anything except that. They bark and run after the deer.
the Rottweiler keeps the humans out of the yard, but she doesn't care about the deer. They can just
They're the opposite.
Buddy,
come right out,
they're
yeah.
buddies.
We're the only house on our entire road that hasn't been robbed. And I attribute that to Rottweilers in our yard full time, so massive for you. But yeah, they look at those dogs and just, it's easier to go down the street somewhere else. Well, I wasn't really gonna give my opinion, but
No, we
Thank
want to
you,
hear.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
thanks, Katrina.
have a good day, everybody.
You
You too. Bye. Bye-bye.
Speaking, I don't know why I think of this, but she's talking about deer, but, we just built that nice patio and we had a robin build the nest up there. Just amazing. Right on one of those 6x12 beams. And it only took her about 2 days to build it. And she had an egg in there, or at least one. And I've never seen this before, but Wendy's studying this chick, this baby bird, I guess you call him a chick, I don't know what, is perched on the edge of
Nest.
the nest, just waiting there. And, I thought yesterday that that bird would have flew out there. It's as big as the mother is.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a fledgling.
Yeah, fledgling, that's what and I said, why don't you just kick them out? I said, let me get the broom, I'll get them off there. Oh, I know, I got in trouble for that. You get in trouble for me. She said, you leave that nest up there till that bird's gone, and then you can take it down. I said, okay. But it just amazes me. Talk about construction. How those birds can build a nest. As big as that is, in such a short period of time.
And get some of those little stickers that you get at the dollar store that shows the cat's footprint.
Yeah,
And just tack those on the side of the beam.
you think it'll work?
It might, Terry. you know.
Oh, come on, come on now.
I told my wife, I said, let's just break some bottles and put some sharp glass. She said, don't you dare.
I have starlings and on the,
Those you can
the north side of the house, it's plastered with their poop. And I even put up a bunch of spiky things all over the ridges. They come out of my barn. And then when they go out, lighten their load or something, but it's, oh.
How much biological waste are you having to clean up off of your concrete, off of your beams? Is it-
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get rid of the bird.
That's a lot.
I know, they're good birds. So starlings, did you know, Fred, that starlings are not native to,
They're invasive, yeah,
invasive from
absolutely.
England?
Yeah.
So when we first moved on to Gary back in 62, 63, we had those, we call them mud daubers, but they're swallows.
Mhm.
Build those mud nests.
Yeah.
And when I was a little kid, I was amazed at how fast they could build that thing, just a blob of mud. And, and just keep building that thing up until there's just a little hole in there.
Yeah,
And you think about the engineering behind that. And, because they fill that thing up and then they leave it there and then the next year they'll use, or somebody will use it.
Mhm.
It doesn't fall down, it must have falls down. But yeah, it's just amazing, I was looking at that robin nest. And there's floss in there, or somebody threw their floss out, there's little bits of nylon, like from a tarp. You see the blue streaks,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm just amazed how, there must be, you'd think there's like 4,000 or 5,000 individual pieces of stuff that they.
That's a lot of trips.
Yeah. a lot.
yeah.
And that fledgling is, as you called it, that fledgling, she has to come there at least once every 10 minutes with another worm because it's so big.
I'm always impressed with beavers.
Beavers here.
That's
They
just what I
are-
was thinking.
They are, as far as construction workers.
Yep.
And what they can accomplish to divert water, dam up water, create wetlands. They are amazing animals.
You know, with them all the time at work.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like, I don't know how big that thing is, but when it takes an excavator to undo the work.
Yeah,
And how it's,
I blew apart a beaver dam that was causing severe problems on one of our employees' property. And I thought, oh, this will be easy with my excavator. It's almost like digging in rock, just to try to pull it apart.
we've found rocks up, like the only way was for them to push or,
Mhm.
I mean, they don't have opposable thumbs, right? So I don't know how they got them up there, but that's the only way they could have gotten them up there. It's
Yeah.
the beaver put 'em up.
Yeah, they're pretty incredible.
That and ants,
I was just gonna say that.
those ants are just unbelievable.
We do have good news for the people of Jefferson leaving town and going across the bridge, where the honeybees are being removed.
Thank you.
We wash your car and you just go give it up and you drive across it.
I just
He's
didn't
been,
understand why they didn't take those bees and put them further out.
Is that a Morris Brother thing?
the cases thought it was, and we thought it was
Case?
Bill Case. And so in the meantime, the guy had a home for his bees because it's hard to find a home for them. So he takes those down to California and in the wintertime, I want to say almond trees.
Yeah, they fertilize them, right?
Or pollinate.
Yeah, pollen, yeah. Same thing. Fertilize.
Shit, he could bring those things out to my place and let them sit there.
But it was years, and finally Case is like, hey, those things, how long you guys gonna keep those there? I'm like, they're yours. He's like, no, they're yours.
Somebody was freeloading, huh?
Yeah, a little bit
He's
nice,
been there for years.
nice guy, not super nice guy and everything, but he should have the rest of them out by the end of this month, so.
It bothered me driving through and hearing my windshield go. tap, 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 tap.
Bothered my wife, but probably not for the same reason. She likes her car nice and clean.
Oh, yeah,
She doesn't want to drive down to, what's the next exit, Talbot, I guess.
I don't know if there's still
Start going around Simon
a
Lake.
danger to the common honeybee or not, but I know
Klamath Lake.
3 years,
The
4 years ago.
Yeah, and you
Honeybee
can't,
population
pull
was
side
declining
road,
significantly.
scrape your windshield off.
You need to have a gallon jug of liquid.
At Klamath.
The midges,
Oh, the midges? How about driving up from here to Sisters in the salmon fly hatch?
Oh, yeah.
Whew. Boy,
Yeah, but the salmon fly hatch, those things over there, I mean, you hit 100 of them, you can't see your windshield anymore.
but same thing with the salmon flies.
Oh, I've never had that bad.
Oh, boy,
no, in Klamath, you can, as you go around the lake
yeah,
at dusk,
yeah.
they really like at road level.
Oh,
And it comes to the point that you need to go to the car wash when you finish driving around the lake, or you can't stand the smell of your car.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and the thing is the midges are an invasive species that they brought in to take care of the mosquito larvae.
Is that the way it always works?
Man,
Something. So Liz and I always used to go to Hawaii. And they have mongooses over there. And the mongooses were there to, I can't remember if they were there to get rid of all the rats or the snakes, but they don't have any snakes in Hawaii. So it must be the rats, but the rats were brought there by the ships,
mhm.
you know, when they, Captain Cook and all those other adventures.
Yep.
Those mongooses, they're all over the place there.
I didn't see any mongoose on Kauai, but I saw lots of chickens.
Chickens, that's the
Lots
invasive.
and lots and lots. of chickens.
Everybody has a chicken there.
Yeah.
That's fun. We were driving, I don't know if Kate was with us when we did that one time when we went to Africa. Oh, I was in Africa one time, we drove through the back roads. And, you know, they talk about, what are those big grasshoppers called?
Locusts.
Locusts. In the Bible. And I actually got to see those buggers when we were in Africa. They are,
Weren't you in Liberia?
no, we were in
Senegal.
Senegal.
Were you?
Kay and I and
We were with them.
yeah, a bunch.
5 days long.
They're big.
Yeah.
Then I got to see wild dogs or dingoes or whatever they call those things over there.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's crazy. But those locusts, man.
Yeah, those salmon flies, you try and use your windshield wipers.
Smears it.
Oh, it's terrible. It's almost.
And the
as bad
soapy
as-
water doesn't even.
When's the hatch? I've been on one of those lakes fishing during the hatch.
I can't remember what month it is.
You will give that up,
Yeah,
because
It's not May by chance, is it?
it,
you can't even fish when those hatches.
Yeah, 'cause they can eat.
They're not even hungry. So
let's find out. May and June.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, wait a minute, no, sorry. June to July.
But they called me guys.
Oh, yeah, I call them salmon flies.
what do they call them? Salmon flies?
They're mayflies. I call them salmon flies because salmon just love them. Salmon, steelhead,
Mayflies.
mayflies, yeah.
Remember Tracy, when Jefferson Baptist used to all go down, they had that fishing tournament on one of those Clear Lake or something like that?
Yeah.
We went down there and it was right
Are we
there.
in Diamond Lake?
No one died.
Okay.
Fish Lake?
I don't know, somewhere by those lakes out there, south of Bend. And it was during that hatch. I mean, the biggest fish was like an 8-inch, you know. You couldn't even hardly catch it.
Yeah, mayflies.
I was talking to Tim Groom today, he's in Alaska. He still got 3 feet of snow and still got it.
This is late.
They had a late storm.
What's that?
They had a late storm.
Yeah. Well, Diamond Lake. That last snow spell that came through, Diamond Lake and Wamola Lake, 4 to 5 feet of new snow. Was what they were expecting to get. I don't know what they got for sure, but Anita Sims had just pulled into their place at Wamola because they run campground. I think they own it.
Who's Anita Sims?
The Sims fiberglass, Anita married Jerry Sims, who's the son of, I don't remember what Jerry's, he passed away from cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I worked for them for a short time,
They did.
miserable job. It's-
Itchy.
Yeah.
Fiberglass is not fun to deal with.
I think they called it the wet side where you actually apply it and everything. That wasn't bad, but the finishing side where you had to cut it off and sand it.
Yeah.
But it was big money because I did on 6 days a week at the dairy. So that was good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was, that wasn't permitted or something.
How old were you?
17, so either 17 or 18.
$1,000 a month at
Yeah.
18 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Not too shabby.
But then, so I went to there in Warring and stuff. I can't remember what happened, but I quit and came back and talked to it's either Joe or Danny or somebody over here and said, hey, I want to come back here. I said, well, get to work. He said, pop the trunk, and I didn't even care. I just didn't want to ask for my license because I didn't have one. And then he's like, oh, he thought he had me. He thought he had a poacher. Then he smelled me.
I'm surprised they didn't accuse you of having some marijuana on you.
Oh, you couldn't have smelled it over the me.
Where, did you live in Beaver?
No, my wife lived out on the Avery Hill.
Yeah, but you said you're coming from Beaver Connor.
Yeah, just taking back roads.
Oh, yeah. Where did you live, Fred?
Who owned it at the time? Human? you
Yeah,
say?
Esto,
Yes,
at the hardware store burned down twice.
Where's the hardware store at? That hasn't been here since I've been here.
No, right next to, it was hooked onto the barber shop.
Oh, was
So
it?
you know where that coffee shop was?
Yeah.
Okay, that coffee shop used to be a meat market. And then the barber shop was there, and then right next to the barber shop where the parking lot was Hank's Cafe. It was a 2-story cafe.
Really?
and it burned down.
Yeah, and burned down. They'd get a Hank burger for $2. You get a burger that big. And then next to where Tommy's is called G&G Hardware, and it's Given Jerry Looney. One of the Loonies.
Is that where the dirt lot is by Tommy's? Is
No,
that used
it
to
was
be
right where Tommy's is.
Okay,
And then next to G&G Hardware, there was a dirt lot, and then Pat's Tavern.
yeah.
Right next to that. And it was probably still there when you lived in those apartments.
Had my first beer in there, or I mean, my first beer in a bar in there.
Yeah, I was here when Pat's Tavern was here, not Tommy's, Pat's Tavern.
Yeah, the hardware store burnt twice.
I have to go to Pat's Tavern and wait for the foreman to bring all the paychecks.
I went to Pat's Tavern one time, and you know who owned Pat's Tavern? Oh,
I just
Ellis
kinda
Hamby.
figured- Ellis did? Really?
I went in there one time and to meet somebody, because I never went into the taverns in Jefferson. I went there to get somebody and Ellis was sitting there drinking a cup of coffee and he goes, you know, because Ellis, you know who Ellis Hamby is? Yeah, so Ellis Hamby's dad had a dairy and farm that was just south of where our dairy was. And when we first moved here, Ellis Hamby came over and helped us, you know, because him and Alvin Robinson were partners at one time, but, and then we bought the farm between them from Alvin Robinson. Just, they're just nice, the Hambys were the nicest family. And Ellis, he told us not to swim in the creek because that's where he thinks he got polio from. Whether he did or not, you know, well, we never swam in that ditch, in that creek anymore, or ever. And,
I never let my kids swim in it.
yeah. So, yeah, so we knew the Hambys very well. I still, every time I see Ellis. Correct.
Is Nancy still in Jefferson?
Yes, but
Is
she's
she?
not really anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, she's pretty much retired, I think.
So Ellis Hamby, he lived, you know where Cobb Manufacturing is, that where, did you know where Cobb Manufacturing was? Tracy?
Isn't that out there off Talbot?
No. Did you know where it was? That's where Baker's Rental is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Cobb Manufacturing had their own line of irrigation pipe. When irrigation first came out here in the 50s, and they made their own. And the way you could tell irrigation pipe by who made it was the hook and the latch.
Okay.
It was all different. They all made different ones. And Cobb had their own, made a super, really good latch and hitch system. And then they got into some mint tubs, making mint tubs, and then they started, Cobb's, you know what, Cobb's. Do you know the Cobb's? Did you go to school with any of them?
I don't think so.
So the Cobb's, they're pretty big here in Jefferson. They got it, somebody talked the father in Dean Cobb, that was his name, into buying one of these machines where you extrude plastic and make paper holders.
Yeah.
He sent paper holders, he had them all on the wall of the different companies, you know, or the different newspapers, all the way to New York. They made a killing making those extruded plastic newspaper holders.
Yeah.
And so then they got out of irrigation. And then the father ended up dying and selling the business and kind of. But they lived in that house on Main Street that has all the round rocks in the wall.
Yeah.
And the one is probably between the old variety store, or what is it, herbal store, or whatever it is now, but it used to be a variety store. And down there where the Masonic Lodge is, it used to be a movie theater.
It used to be a movie theater? Wow. The guy who made irrigation pipe, I
Cobb,
don't know if you remember that irrigation pipe out at my place that was just all covered over. It was spun. It was cork spun.
oh, the aluminum
What
ones?
the aluminum was. Did Cobb make that kind
I don't
of
think so.
irrigation pipe?
No, I think they bought the pipe, the aluminum tube,
Yeah,
and they put their latch and their end on it.
gotcha.
Because that's what made all the pipe different.
Yeah,
There's Wade, Geen, Cobb pipe, all these different ones, because originally it was all steel. You know, you see when irrigation first came out, it was just steel too. Man, those things are heavy to carry.
yeah. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember when I did metal recycling. So much pipe in that pile that it was all up against the wall.
Yeah. So, you know, Tracy, you know, that creek that runs by your house, that was hand dug.
Yep.
half by machine and half by Chinese labor.
Yep.
And it went in Talbot. It started in Marion, by Marion.
Mhm.
And they dug the first half of the machine, and then they started at Talbot, and that was part that was built or dug by the Chinese. Now, how those guys ever figured out the lay of the land, the height and all that for that water to run?
I don't know.
I don't know, 'cause this is a late 1800s, early 1900s.
What was it for?
It was for a mill, a flour mill.
Okay.
On the end of that, there in between, on that road that goes between Talbot and Independence.
Seems like a long way.
It used to be called the Cindy Road. I don't know what it's.
Well, part of the old mill is still there. No, part of
Just
the
a
concrete.
concrete.
Yeah.
Did I take you there one time?
No, I've been up the river,
Yeah.
and saw it.
So that's really kind of unique. Some of the history of that is that thing actually, when it came to the Willamette River, it was about 30 feet above the river, so they put it down a concrete square flume. And in the 50s, when they quit doing that, they used to bring loads of logs from the Independence area all the way down to the mills at Salem. And one of those loads of logs busted off and hit that concrete drainage block. So after that happened, after it hit that block, the water from that creek started eroding that land.
Mhm.
And in the 80s, it probably eroded over that period, over those 30, 40 years, it eroded all the way back to almost the railroad tracks. And then Corps of Engineers and the railroad and Sydney Ditch got some grant money and they made a diversion there for that water to hit these big square blocks. It's like a plume, a straight, like a dam.
Yeah.
And the water hits those blocks, diverts, hits some more blocks, diverts, and it goes all the way down there. And that's how they quit it from eroding.
Yeah.
But if you go to the end there, yeah, you can still see the concrete. In fact, when we tore our house down, they had lath in there, and the back end of the lath were sacks from that company.
Oh,
And if
really?
we'd been smart enough to think about it, instead of burning them,
Save
we
it.
could have kept some history.
Yeah.
But did you know that, Tracy, also after they made that, they decided, well, hey, we can irrigate with this, so they flood irrigated. So like on our property where we had a checkpoint, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
They would dam that up with wood, and then upstream, a couple 100 yards, they dig a hollow out on the low spot, and that water would rise up there and come over and flood irrigate the land naturally. They could, so that's what they farmed until irrigation came.
Did that catch at your property? I don't know I don't think it's still there.
No, the Gene Rose tore it down.
And that was when the other one was built there at Pages, correct?
Correct. The one that's down from the second bridge
Yeah.
on Robinson Road?
Yeah.
No, on Skelton Road.
Skelton Road.
Yeah, on Skelton Road, that was built at the same time. Because Alvin built that one so he could flood irrigate some of that land that heads towards Smitty's,
Yep,
Cox's place.
yep.
Yeah, you learn all this from talking to those old farmers,
I was actually surprised to hear that, I didn't know, I thought most of the irrigation canal, if not all of it, was hand-dug by the Chinese immigrants.
It started at the river, because it was real river level.
Yeah,
They did it with one of those steam
steam shovels.
shovels.
Yeah, but the other thing that was interesting to find out, I'm trying to remember for the life of me, who told me this. I want to say it was Papa Epps, Butch Epps, I'm not sure. Been quite some time, but I did not know that the Chinese were not appreciated by the locals. And that for them to be able to rest and whatnot, sleep. It's too dangerous for them to camp. It's too dangerous for them to be in hotels. So the surrounding trees at night, they would climb up into the trees. They would sleep in the trees.
That makes sense.
Makes
Especially when
total
you, when
sense.
you, when you hear the story from John Day.
Oh, yes.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's horrible.
yeah. It's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, for fear that they would be killed, beaten, robbed at nighttime. It's pretty sad. State of affairs of our country, you know, what it started as, and the turmoil, and persecution that people experienced.
Yeah, that is sad. The other bit of history, it's not there anymore, is the old Santiam City. Right below where I live there, it used to be the Turnage Farm.
Okay,
Then Iverson's bought
I
it.
was just gonna ask you, that was part of Iverson.
Yeah, and then Iverson's cleared all the land, all the trees and all that. But there used to be some concrete blocks there that house, foundations for the houses of Santiam City. And Rick and I used to go down there and look at it, you know, there was probably 100 acres back there with just trees and everything, but they cut them all off there. And, yeah, that was pretty neat to see that. I'm sure they're gone now. They farm.
One thing that I want to go look at, but I just haven't, cemetery that's off north of, on Winter Creek, but north of.
You know what cemetery that is?
I have no clue.
It's Looney Cemetery.
Is that Looney's?
Yeah, a lot of the Loonies are buried there.
Wow.
There's another cemetery that is up off of that road. I don't even know the name of it, but it's a road that goes between Independence and Talbot.
Mhm.
And there's a cemetery up there that some of those people from Talbot that started Talbot are buried up there.
It was cool to see. It's back on Jeff's, when Jeff's mom passed away. Remember you were there?
Yeah.
And you showed me the Schultz family who homesteaded
Schultz
my
were the
place.
house for a year.
Yeah, where the Schultz family,
Lillian Schultz.
yeah, where she's buried. Her husband is there too, isn't
Yeah, and their son Teddy.
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what's crazy is that place is over 100 years old as far as.
Yeah, well over
built in-
100.
Built in 1909, so, but the Schultzes built it. And the next person that owned it was the Westigs. The next family that owned it was the Cruises. And then Jackie and I, so it's been through 4 families in over 100 years.
There was a family that lived there between the Schultzes and you, and I don't remember who they were, but they actually lived in that house. I think they lived in there after the Lucigs.
Well, they, Ty and Jackie were renting it out.
Yeah,
Um,
and I actually met him up in Washington. I was working on dairy.
Hmm.
And he asked me where I was from, and I told him, well, from a little town in Jefferson. He goes, I used to live around Jefferson. I said, where? He goes, oh, you probably don't know. It's on a little road, Vaughn Road. I go, I know where Vaughn Road is, just north of our dairy. He goes, wait a minute. The other dairy, he says, is your last name Cumlotty? And I go, yeah. He says, your dad's the one that told me not to build a dairy there, because he's gonna buy that and build a dairy there. He said not to build a dairy there. So he ended up going up in the Chehalis area and bought a dairy.
Yeah, there hasn't been too many families
No.
that lived on that property.
No.
Only 2 families I know that lived on your property, your folks and Mosses.
And before that, there was more people there. They had a bunch of squatters in there when we got there.
You know that house that's across the street from,
Her driveway,
yeah,
and Helen Zimmerman.
Is that-
Zimmerman place?
okay. Shame that that house has been abandoned.
Is it abandoned?
Yeah,
So who owns that?
Isn't it Jensen's?
Yeah, Carl Senior
Yeah.
owns it, and he traded the land with Nels. Because Nels has some land up there in Silverton. So he traded the land with that.
The girls are farming that now.
Yeah.
Saw Nels here in town, last haircut I got, lives in Bandon now. Working cranberry farm. Different kind of farm.
I'm actually surprised he came because he has an order not to. Some feed from.
I was wondering.
I didn't see him then, but Rick Rainey.
Yeah, Rick was in there. No. Rick in there?
No, he saw him parked along the road, right by the high school, turned around, stopped.
Oh,
Pretty good.
seems to be doing okay.
The limits aren't for you out of my truck, for sure.
Yeah.
I think so.
Do what?
Is it a reflective jacket?
I can get one of those. It is not. It goes on your head if you so choose. Whether or not you wear it, it's up to you.
I'm gonna leave these for next time.
Can we?
Yeah, we're gonna leave these. for next time. I got
This is
notes
also,
online.
this is all, yeah, these notes
I wrote-
they have to be turned into the district office.
No, they don't.
It's
It's not an
Board-
executive board
Not
meeting.
executive board.
oh, that's right, that's right.
Okay, take, or do you want these?
I'd like to keep on these term a little bit better when we go through the.
Why don't you take
ORSs.
Julie's?
Yeah, do you want some? You want to keep yours?
No, that's fine, Terry. I'm gonna jumble all mine together underneath this paper clip.
When's the next one?
Next Monday.
Yeah, but that's at
6,
6. 7:30, right?
right.
Here, Mr. T.
We'll stay here for another 10 minutes.
I'm surprised. More conversation. Maybe on the next one. Look later. Isn't it?
6 to 7:30.
Yeah. More flexibility for people to attend.
Yeah, I think this is more so for the employees.
Hey, so Terry, when are you gonna bring Wendy over? to See them puppies?
Hey, we're still being recorded. You don't
It's
want
not
to,
school board business.
you don't want to hear me curse, do you?
Oh.
First Amendment, right?
Yeah.
What kind of puppies?
Chocolate and silver lab,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah. Most beautiful silver out of the whole litter.
How
So
many,
sad.
how many to the litter?
There was 9, 2 of them were breech silver, stillborn, and the silver puppy that I just loved, Holly rolled over on it, and killed it.
Oh,
It was sad. I won't say she rolled over on it. I say the puppy possibly climbed around me, behind her, and she repositioned it, stuck in between the wall and her.
but so Terry needs one or two or the?
Hey,
Wendy, his
Fred.
wife does.
Okay.
Fred.
Hey, we're talking over here, Terry.
Think you and I could work something out?
I think so. Yeah, that's a surprise.
Oh,
When's his birthday?
Um,
That's close enough.
Wendy's birthday.
Oh, okay.
We can,
It was close enough.
and you can always give a gift in advance, you just don't wanna wait until afterwards.
That's true. And you can't give it back,
No.
not for birthday stuff.
Is it appropriate to give gifts back?
No,
Perfect.
but, you know, the dog, you know, I love dogs, but they just might end up being dead someday, you know, and
Well, they generally do pass away.
they do.
Circle.
So here's I love dogs. And, but Fred, and you can appreciate this, and Tracy, I know appreciates it. I think you need land to roam. And in a house on 3/4 of an acre, what I believe would happen is, you know, when we were gone or whatever, when we were, a dog wouldn't get a lot of attention. And I hate seeing a dog locked up. I want to see if we had dogs. You ask Tracy how many different dogs we had.
You should have seen Great Danes.
Yeah.
The
We
Terriers.
had Great Danes. I love Great Danes. We had lots of Great Danes. And
Well, that's why we're gonna get you two, keep each other company. So what else you got? And we can,
the other,
I'll volunteer to help put up a fence,
Okay.
whatever.
So-
3/4 of an acre is a lot.
Fred,
That's a lot of land.
the other logic behind there is
Okay.
we're at that age, we want to travel.
Yeah.
And I don't want a Great Dane in the front seat with me.
No, these are small little labs, sounds like.
Small.
It's not like a Great Dane. Great Dane, I have a Great Dane. I know.
I know, I heard you
This is
say
a little
that.
tiny lab.
You should have seen Terry's dad. God. He had this little green,
Ford or Chevy Love.
Chevy
That's
Love.
it.
Oh,
Just this in. I mean, just this
Okay.
small little pickup. And Terry's dad, and that Great Dane went with Terry's dad everywhere.
that's too small of a truck for.
No, was it? No, he wouldn't put it in the truck with him, it'd be in the bed.
He was in the
That's
best of
about the
truck.
right size.
And that dog's head standing there, looking over the cab. You know,
He drove to Jefferson and his dog.
Best one I ever saw. Best one I ever saw was a Holstein heifer, no, Holstein cow. Better pickup truck. Looking around. And it split out. Terry,
Did the splits and broke the fellow's phone.
yeah,
Well,
I
that's
threw it in
not-
the back of the pickup, took it over to H&K.
yep. Waste not, want not.
Yeah.
Make it all in the hamburger.
Yeah.
Best hamburger you'll
It
ever,
is good hammer.
that you'll ever eat.
So I raised Angus, and by far the best beef I've ever ate was a Holstein. A gal at work lived up in there in Turner, had 2 acres.
Mhm.
And part of it's pastured off, so she thought, well, I'll get some cows. She got 2 Holsteins, probably from some dairy or something.
Yeah, right, yeah, there's one turn.
And then she said she read online that you should get them used to grain, so if they would get out, you got a way to get them, so she said she. went out
Grained
and
it every day. It's-
fed them grain, and then they're balling, she couldn't stand it, so she fed them grain, more grain, more grain. Grain fed, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, the best beef I've ever had in my life.
Good marbling on that one.
Yeah, it looked like that Wagyu, it was amazing.
So,
She lost so much money on those cows.
so Fred, do you know what a free market is?
That's twin girl twins, right? And one, or they're both,
No,
Sterile?
the male, the female is sterile.
oh, okay, yeah, okay.
If you have 2 twin girls, heifers born, they're okay. If you have 2 bulls born, they're okay. If you have a bull and a heifer born, the heifer's 95% of the time doesn't have any organs in it. So, you know, we've raised those and we put them in with the regular cows, not the milk cows, but the heifers and everything. And we fed them, you know, we grained them every day.
Yeah,
And then when they got to 1,500 pounds, we'd butcher them. And we'd make the whole thing into hamburger.
Hmm.
And I will guarantee you what, that is by far the best hamburger you ever ate. I go to Rick Grill Dairy over there and they have Downer cows, you know, they make all into hamburger. And I buy their hamburger, it's better than anything you buy in the store. You know, they won't sell it to anybody, but because, you know, it's not USDA approved, but they give it to their hired men or they'll give it to me or sell it to me, you know. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Tell them how you raise it.
But it's exactly what Fred said, it's that grain.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna close this meeting. It is 4:59. And, yeah. Thank you everybody for coming.
Do you need the dress?
Thank you. Does, I will ask you a quick question. Sure. X-Rock
Well, let's go to the.
up there, Siemens.
Yeah.
Siemens,
Segments, yeah.
their rock for a load of rock is well over $300.
The
Got it
word-
locked, remember?
Yeah,
The door's locked.
Okay.
You make
Just
sure
gotta
the
take-
lights
Yeah,
out.
yeah, turn the lights off.
Crushed wood. Is Jimmy still out there? Safely?
mostly, yeah. Sometimes we have some other people. that go
Do
by
you
there.
guys have crushed wood out there that?
We don't, see, in that area.